Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It's Thursday, February 19th. I think this is actually my first Thursday being with you. It's always wonderful to be back, especially now that the weather's a little more peaceful after those crazy storms. We do have a little bit more rain today, and then it's going to be tapering off, but I'll tell you about that after we talk to United Mutual and get some updates with Director Anthony Liberatore. So we look forward to everything that he's got to share with us. But of course, folks, got to keep you informed as always. This information is really fun. March Village Bazaar. I've heard these bazaars are just absolutely engaging and fun and a great way to spend the morning and afternoon. Saturday, March 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be taking place at Clubhouse 5 Main Lounge. Sell wares and secondhand items, everything that you didn't know you needed. Registration starts at 8 a.m. February 12th, and they will not be accepted by phone. It's $25 for one 8x10 indoor table if you want to be a vendor. And you can set up your vendor space from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Spaces are first come, first serve. No food provided or permitted to be sold. So keep that in mind for all you wonderful bakers out there. Let's take a look at that weather. What is it giving us today? We've got a little more showers here and there lasting until 4 p.m. today. And then look at that, folks. We are tapering off to partly sunny skies tomorrow. Actually, they're partly sunny out there right now, but we should see some full sun Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with those temperatures climbing back up into the low 70s. Personally, that's my sweet spot. Lows are going to be in the mid to high 40s, and then looking at 51 again on Monday. So our temperatures are rising, and hopefully we will clear out some of that very, very wet terrain out there. Don't want any mudslides this year. Sunrise this morning was at 6:30 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:39 p.m. This is from my Antarctica cruise a couple weeks ago. Sunset in Antarctica doesn't happen until about 11:30 at night, and the sunrise is about at 3:30 in the morning. So quite different than what we have here. Luckily, we've got blackout shades on that boat. We've got 4 meetings to tell you about before we head on over to the break. And when we come back, United update. Stay with me. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I've got Director Anthony with United here to give us an update. I just learned that, Anthony, you have been a director since 2013.
That's correct, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What an accomplishment.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, you keep everything on track, right?
Try to.
You and the big team behind you, right?
Exactly.
So you've got 4 talking points that you want to discuss today. You want to start with the town halls?
Yeah, the town hall is something that was created years ago, and it's a way for us, United, and Third does the same thing, to give our residents a chance to interact with us on different topics. We'll pick something like water conservation or that type of thing, and we'll invite somebody in who's an expert on it, give us a little talk, and then we'll open it up to residents to ask questions. So it's been really, really good, and the residents really enjoy it. So they have some communication with us. They feel
Right,
part of it. And that's
right.
our whole thing is communication and talking to people. And it seems to go over really well. Our residents really enjoy it.
Well, they probably feel really heard, right?
Yes.
And
yeah,
understood.
That's exactly.
Voice their opinions and their needs and so forth.
Right, because we're trying everything possible to communicate and allow them to talk to us so we can get a feel for what's on their minds.
Right.
And try to answer their
Right.
questions.
Now, how often do these town halls take place?
We have one a month, usually one a month, and we pick a topic, and then one or two of the directors will come up with a format for it. And we usually goes over if we have a nice guest speaker come in to talk on a topic, and then we'll open it up for questions afterwards. And it seems to really work. And it's over the PAC, Clubhouse 3, Dining Room 2. So it's open.
Is that a set day per month?
Well, I forget now. It's either the first or second Friday of every month at Clubhouse 3, the PAC, in Dining Room 2, and it goes from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
So it's really getting really, really popular.
Okay. Now, can you be? Do you have to be a member of United, or can anybody attend
Well,
that?
it's meant for United, but we don't screen. So if somebody from Third comes in there, or somebody from Third wants to give us a talk on the subject, we're open to that.
Okay.
But we're dedicated for United residents, but we don't hold any grudges against people from Third or Towers that want to join us.
We welcome all, right?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Okay, great. And then next, you want to move on to the interior inspection of unoccupied
Yeah,
units policy?
United is a co-op, as you know, and so the co-op owns the buildings. So there's a vested interest for us to make sure the buildings are being maintained and safe. So if we have people, we use the word snowbirds, that are not here part of the year, we have to make sure that the buildings are safe.
Sure.
They're not being invested, like rodents
Right.
or fires or something, because the buildings belong to the co-op. And so by protecting the buildings, we're protecting the co-op and all the other residents. So we want to be able to go into these buildings and inspect them to make sure that they're not rodent infested or something else is mold going on that will affect neighbors, So we're very conscious of that, and we're going to be some new efforts now to make sure that we keep track of these buildings in these manners that are not being used, whether they're snowbirds or they're not being rented. So it's a real concern of ours to maintain the value of our buildings.
Absolutely.
To do that.
Now, Director, are you going into each unit to inspect when, as you say, the snowbirds, when they maybe go back up north or wherever they go?
Well, what the problem is right now.
Or is it just the general building? Sorry.
Well, it's the manor itself.
It's the manor itself, yeah.
If another resident from another manor thinks that there's something going on, they call us security, compliance, and we'll go out there and look into it to see what's going on. To maintain the value of the building, so there may be something ugly like mold in there that can affect other buildings, or rodent infested,
Right.
or maybe somebody left an electric light on or something, and so we're interested in the manners not being utilized, so that we can maintain the property value at all times, and so we just really got interested in that this year, realizing that there are a lot of manors that are not being occupied for whatever reason.
Sure.
And so we want to keep an eye on that because we want to maintain the value of the building.
Absolutely.
And also protect the residents who have adjoining manors.
Right. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Mobility and Vehicles Committee.
Well, mobility, that's a GRF committee, and I represent United on that. And the last 3 meetings, we really got a heavy discussion on the bus service. And we started off back in August, and we took bus route 1 and 2, which serves 8, 9, 10, and 11, and we combined that to 1. We took the 2 commercial routes, C1 and C2, and we combined them to 1. And then we took bus 5 and 6, route 5 and 6 that serves United, and we combined that. And then we talked about putting another bus route on for the Arbor, the shopping center on the other side of 5. We thought that maybe residents might like that opportunity to go over there.
Sure.
So subsequent to that, we found out that we had to put, to serve the residents, we had to put bus route 1 and 2 back in place because it serves too many places, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's a lot to cover. And then we also decided that the commercial routes, C1 and C2, had to be put back. It was too much for the one bus to cover Aldi's and the senior center and Polly's, and then come over to do Stater Brothers and Gate 14. So it was too much.
Yeah, that's a big area.
But we kept 5 and 6 are no longer in existence. We have bus 3 that serves United. We never messed around with bus 4, which serves Gate 5 and 6. And the W bus, which goes over to Trader Joe's and those places. So we're back now, and so we have C1 and C2, the commercial routes back on. We have bus route 1 and 2 back on, but we've left bus route 5 and 6 off, and it's been replaced by 3. And so far, the residents in United seem to be okay with that. And everything else is, so that's basically what we've been doing the last 3 meetings in the mobility clinic committee, which I'm part of that.
Wonderful. If somebody's a little bit confused about those bus routes and where they go, is there a place on the website, on the village website, where they can go to actually look at those routes?
Yes, there is a place, and also if you're in the community center and those little boxes we have on the walls, we have the routes printed out there, Route 1, 2, and all those are route. And also on our website, yes, you can go on there, and you can also call the service, call our dispatcher, and they'll help you out. They're very
fantastic.
And the dispatchers are really good people. I mean, they'll help you.
Yeah.
And
Because sometimes that would be intimidating. I know it would be for me. You're mentioning all these bus routes, and I'm already confused.
yeah. Well, also the bus routes all, we use Clubhouse 1 as sort of like the focal point. So if you come in on, say, bus route 4 from 5 and 6, and you want to go over to Trader Joe's, you can come to Clubhouse 1 and get on the W bus, and that'll take you over to Trader Joe's, Trader Joe's and those places over there. And so, and then, or you can get off bus 4 and get on commercial route 1 if you want to go to Polly's, or commercial route 2 if you want to come up here, or to Stater Brothers or Gate 14. And and if you go to Clubhouse 1, also the bus drivers and the people there will really direct you. They're really good people.
And so how does that work, Director, when you're dropped off at Polly's or dropped off at Trader Joe's? Is there a certain time allowance, or is the bus on a schedule? Well,
the buses run every half hour.
Okay.
And I believe their lunch is from, I think it's 12 to 12:30 or 12:30 to 1. They don't run. And they run till 5 o'clock. And they run every half hour. So, for instance, if you're going to Polly's or the senior center, the bus normally will go over to there's an old pharmacy there. That's its stop. But if you're at the senior center, if you just call in the number, and they'll stop at the senior center, or they'll stop, so you don't have to worry about that. Just let them know, that, I'm at the senior center, please stop at the senior center, and the bus will stop there. It's very convenient, and if people, if you ask for help, it helps that the bus drivers help, the dispatchers are great,
Fantastic.
and the people who ride the bus also are good points of information, because we have some people who ride the bus.
Yeah. Well, it's very good to know because it sort of takes the intimidation factor away from
Yeah,
riding the bus.
It does, and sometimes people like they get that feeling, oh my God.
I would. It's intimidating.
And if you give it a chance, you'll be surprised how easy it is, really.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Lastly, we want to wrap it up with the Disaster Preparedness Task Force.
Well, that's another one that I'm on, and we try to deal with be prepared for the possibilities of an earthquake, the great shakeout, or something disastrous like a fire. And Eric Nunet, we're going to redo right now we're going to redo the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. We're redoing that, and I'm not sure, we're talking about how to redo it, but right now, up until this point, we've been preparing for the earthquake and interfacing with local fire and rescue to make sure that we're all on the same page, because if something happens, we want it to be seamless. You know, when the fire department or rescue come here, they want to know who we are and who's in charge. You know, a fire truck comes and there's 5 people waving their hands.
Right.
The fire truck doesn't know what to do.
Exactly.
So we have people at Clubhouse 3 that are organized, and we want it to be seamless if something happens. And so we're reaching out, but sometimes, you know, unfortunately, until something happens, people sometimes don't pay attention. So we're trying really, really hard to reach out to people to get them to be prepared in case something does happen, which we hope it doesn't, you know. And I feel really good being on that committee myself that we're doing everything we can to reach out to people and hope that they're prepared, you know, for the big earthquake or fire. And then there's going to be El Toro Water District's got a big project coming up maybe next year or 2 years along Sevilla there where the Aliso Creek is. And they're going to do some big work there. So we have to make sure that our emergency response people can get their big equipment in and out of there.
Right.
So those are the things that we're dealing with in disaster preparedness.
Yeah, well, like you said, hopefully you never have to rely on being prepared, but it's really good that you are.
Yeah, we're aware of it, and we're trying to stay on top of it, yes.
Of course. Director Anthony, thank you so much for sharing your time
Well,
with me
thank you,
today.
and don't forget, we have 2 openings on
That's
the
right.
board. 2 openings.
You do, I forgot about that.
And if you go to the concierge, she down there at the main desk, they'll help you get started. And the good thing is, the 2 positions are only good for 8 months, so don't be worried. You're not getting in for 3 years. Come in for 8 months, see if you like it. If you don't have to come back. But if you do like it, then you can run for a 3 years. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
What would it feel like to hear better? Many people are trapped in the isolation of poor hearing and don't realize it. Even people that are wearing other hearing aids. No buttons to push or technology to fear. Artificial intelligence and these products do all the work. Don't settle for less. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Different location, but the same great guests from Caring Senior Service. I want to welcome Dean White to our program. Thanks.
Thanks,
for
Michael.
joining
Good to
us.
see you again. Yeah.
This is probably a familiar kind of feeling for when you go do a visit in someone's home for the first time. You sit down with them at maybe the kitchen table or in a living room, and tell me what the start of that process is for someone who's decided that they may need some home health care.
Yeah, it's a great question. I want people first to know that I'm a no-pressure person. I want to get to know them. I want to understand their needs. I want to get to know them as a person. And I would say that a lot of companies, push the sale and put something in front of somebody to sign. That's not me. I really respect when somebody gives me time to think, and so I like to do the same thing too. And so.
And there's an assessment that you have to take, like, hey, do they even need my service, or to what level? Because you kind of have a full gamut of services you can provide, and you can pull back and add more as you go, right? So it's also part of this is like, do they even need me yet? Is it time for this?
100%. And now, if we're in-home care, a lot of times we are helping people with their medicine, for instance. It's a lot to keep track of, and sometimes if you take the wrong dosage, something bad can happen. Or we simply are helping somebody sort through their mail, or we're helping them with meal prep, or doing some light house cleaning.
Right.
But
and we got a list up on the screen here, right, about what you guys
yes.
provide, and these are some of the gamut of services. This is not a complete list, but it's a good list to start with, right?
100%. Like for instance, I think I brought up before. For our client Donna, we go over there in the morning, make her breakfast, give her morning meds, and then they do some laundry, clean in the house a little bit, and then they make her a lunch, and then they put a dinner in the fridge and leave, and they come back the next day. As little as that to somebody who needs somebody next to them, for 24 hours a day. But the main thing with all that is the communication we give to the kids. Now, this is a con. Sometimes the families don't want communication with the kids.
Right.
Sometimes they do.
Right.
Majority do. And so we let the family know, how mom and dad are doing, and it gives the family a good peace of mind.
Right, that peace of mind is an important thing because, especially for folks they've retired in another location and they can't drive over, they can't do a check on them, right? They're in a different state sometimes. Yeah. And there's that I haven't heard from them today, and there's that worry. Is that alleviation of worry is kind of a big factor, right?
It's a big factor. And a lot of times we mentioned just about sitting down in a living room like this and having a conversation. The questions that I'd love to answer are, should we put cameras in the house so we can check on mom? And what does that look like? Should we, is there paperwork that we need to put in order? I have questions about my trust. And I'm happy to answer all these. I have long-term care. When can I use it? I'm a vet. Is there any vet benefits? There's a lot of questions. And in-home care can really provide a lot of help. But part of it is just understanding the world of, that I might need help one day. Now, there's also three big buckets. It's in-home care, 24/7. Right. Home health, which often happens after you go into the doctor for surgery, and then they send a home health nurse twice a week to check your meds, see how you're doing. And then the last one, of course, is end-of-life hospice. And, we work with each one of them, but it's nice to know what those buckets do and when to call them.
Now, cost is a factor, like anything in life.
Yeah.
This service isn't, provided for free. What are some of the price ranges, and what can people do to make sure that there's an affordability for the care they need?
Great question. Really a big, impactful question.
Yeah.
So one is that, choose a company that's going to be flexible with you. Now, we have a flat rate. And if you mention that you heard us on Laguna Woods TV, then, you get $2 off per hour, which is great. And then also we don't do a sign-up fee or a service fee, but we work with long-term care. If you have long-term care, if you don't have long-term care, then we're going to work within your budget and show you ahead of time what everything costs, and then let you think about it. There's not a pressure there. And then there's other ways that, there could be something that you want to refinance on the house or do something else with the house, like a reverse mortgage or something, but that would be something if there was nothing else that we could tap into.
I have an experience with a friend of mine whose parents are fighting them tooth and nail because they do need help. It's the father had a stroke and the mother can't do the care thing, but they're fighting. I don't want disruption in my house. I don't want strangers in my house. How do you help people get through that process of this change, again, that they kind of fear coming in?
Yeah, it's a really serious question, right? I mean, here's somebody new, and husband had a stroke, wife feels that she needs to take care of him. Our goal is that we do the caregiving so that the wife can be the wife, so that the daughter can be the daughter, the son can be the son, or the husband can be the husband, so that they're not doing the caregiving. And it's a lot on somebody if somebody is, taking care of them to give them a bath, feeding, changing a diaper, or changing undergarments of any sorts. If there is a wound that needs to be taken care of, if there's also demands of going to the grocery store and meal prep. Right. So my feeling is, don't sign a contract, but step into something that you at least have somebody come in and try. See if there is a nice lady or man that can come alongside you. Talk to the neighbors and see, do you have a caregiver? Who is this caregiver? I have seen that people have been that have been reluctant found it very, very rewarding, and the fear goes away and more freedom comes into their life.
Right, right. They can, like you said, they can stop being the caregiver and start being the husband, the spouse, and that whole thing.
And, not to cut you off, I'm so sorry.
Sure.
But the people buy things and spend $1,000 for a phone. We'll spend $60,000, $70,000 for a car with the hopes that it's going to give them freedom and enjoyment, right? Mm-hmm. And they take this big, huge. I just was in somebody's house yesterday. They put in one of those elevators that move you down, like across the stairway.
Yeah.
$18,000. They barely use it. Why not try somebody who would be a lot less money, a couple $100s, to see if that increases your freedom a lot much more than a materialistic thing that is just going to sit in the driveway or not be used that much. Mm-hmm.
When we talk about the fear of having someone come in your home, the change and disruption, how do you vet the folks who are coming into those homes? That's a sensitive area.
Great question. Yeah. So all our caregivers are put through a background check. We check them through 7 different agencies, if you can believe it. Wow. So the DMV to make sure they don't have a DUI. We check elder abuse, child abuse. If they've harmed a child, they're going to harm an adult. So anything that pops up in those things, they get cut out. Mm-hmm. And so they go through 7 different agencies for background checks. We also check references, and then they're also licensed and bonded before they come into the house. Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk a little bit about what people can do in terms of making sure they can afford long-term care for a period of time. What are some of the things they can do in terms of their life insurance or their homes and those kinds of things?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that if they have a life insurance policy, there's a good chance that there might be a long-term care benefit to maximize the benefits so that you can have the help and care that comes alongside of you.
All right, that's going to wrap up my first home visit with Dean White from Caring Senior Service. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Michael. Great seeing you.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. The weekend is upon us, which means movie nights, Friday and Saturday movie nights. Friday night's movie is Dallas Buyer Club. This is starring the ever-talented Matthew McConaughey, brought to us by RadNet. It's an older film, but always worth watching again, showing at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without. And then Saturday, we've got The Senior, which is a newer film, 2023, starring Michael Chiklis. That's brought to us by City of Hope. Let's take another look at our forecast, folks. We got a little bit more rain lingering through the rest of today. Hopefully it'll be tapering off at about 4 o'clock this afternoon before we head on into some sunny skies after tomorrow's partly sunny should break open. Get some beautiful, nice temperatures toward the weekend. So we look forward to that. Tomorrow on This Day, we've got Mako and Meineke. They are a full-service auto everything located in Lake Forest. So that's exciting to talk about and know that that is available to you. And then after that, we've got Sports Corner. And that is going to do it for this episode of This Day. Of course, as always, from all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one.